country you from?
What?
What ain't no country I ever heard of? They speak English and what?
What?
English, mother... Do you speak it?
Yes.
Hello and welcome back to Fact Me Up channel. In today's video we're unleashing 14 mind-blowing facts about the iconic film Pulp Fiction. Get ready to unravel the mysteries, behind-the-scenes stories, and trivia that made Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece a cultural phenomenon. Let's twist and shout as we explore the secrets of this cinematic classic. The mysterious, anonymous Stig from Top Gear was inspired by the mysterious, anonymous Gimp from the Pulp Fiction. The Gimp was even the original name for the Stig, until they couldn't find a racing driver willing to use that name, so they had to change it. The movie cost only $8 million to make, out of which $5 million went to pay the actors and actresses' salaries. The initial budget was reportedly even lower until Bruce Willis was added to the cast. Even though he had a recent string of domestic flops, he was still a box office draw overseas, and asked for a higher salary. The film was already profitable when its worldwide rights were sold for $11 million, mainly on the strength of Willis's presence. It went on to gross over $200 million at the box office in total, making it one of the highest-grossing Tarantino movies. When it came to how Tarantino filmed the famous adrenaline shot scene, he passed on using a fake chest plate and instead used a technique where he filmed the scene backward. He had John Travolta start off with the needle on Thurman's chest, and then he pulled it upward and away from her. In editing, they then reversed the footage and made it look like he slammed it into her chest. If you look carefully, you'll see a mark on Uma's chest disappear when she's revived. Pulp Fiction dropped more F-bombs than any other film released in 1994, with a total number of 265 F-bombs. Uma Thurman originally turned down the role of Mia Wallace. Quentin Tarantino was so desperate to have her as Mia, he ended up reading her the script over the phone, finally convincing her to take on the role. The 1964 Chevelle Malibu convertible driven by Vincent Vega belonged to writer and director Quentin Tarantino, and was stolen during production of the film. In 2013, a police officer saw two kids stripping an older car. He arrested them, and while looking up the owner of the vehicle he found the VIN had been altered. It turned out that it was Tarantino's stolen car. The owner had recently purchased it and had no idea it was stolen.
This watch. This watch.
In the scene where Captain Koons is giving young Butch the gold watch, Walken appeared to pause during the end of his explanation for the story behind the golden watch. This is because Christopher Walken had forgotten his next lines before recovering in time to make it look as though he paused on purpose. It was decided to leave this error in the film, due to how authentic it appeared. Because of his previous turns as Tony Manero in Saturday Night Fever and Danny Zuko in Grease, Uma Thurman was nervous about dancing with John Travolta, and she said to Tarantino, "You expect me to dance with John Travolta?" Tarantino mentioned it to Travolta and he told her to just shut up and twist. Jules flipping the table over in the beginning of the movie was improvised by Samuel L. Jackson, and Frank Whaley's reaction was genuine. They continued with the scene, and that particular shot turned out so good, they kept it in the final cut. Uma Thurman did not actually like the Chuck Berry song, "You Never Can Tell."
It was a teenage wedding and they all...
That was played in the Jack Rabbit Slim's Twist contest, and she told Quentin Tarantino about this, saying it just did not sound right. Tarantino simply replied, "Trust me, it's perfect."
Ezekiel 25:17.
The quote Jules uses is supposed to be from Ezekiel 25 verse 17 in the Old Testament. In Captain America the Winter Soldier, when Nick Fury played by Samuel L. Jackson stands by the headstone at his grave, the marker reads, "The path of the righteous man." Ezekiel 25 verse 17. Mr. Blonde, aka Vic Vega, played by Michael Madsen in Reservoir Dogs, is the brother of Vincent Vega played by John Travolta from Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino even had a spin-off film in development, titled Vic Vega, which was a prequel to both movies. This film was scrapped, because both actors were too old to play younger versions of themselves. Quentin Tarantino wrote the role of Jules Winnfield specifically for Samuel L. Jackson. However, when he auditioned Paul Calderon, he was so struck by the performance that he very nearly hired him. When Jackson heard this, he flew to Los Angeles and auditioned again to secure the role. Calderon ended up with a small role as Paul. It's widely believed that Christopher Walken's Captain Koons is a descendant of Django Unchained character Crazy Craig Koons, who is only mentioned by name in a wanted poster.